The Crucifixion in the south transept is a fresco by Cimabue and Workshop, dated around 1277 to 1283, preserved in the upper Basilica of Saint Francis of Assisi. The scene is so called because it is symmetrically coupled with the Crucifixion in the north transept, frescoed on the opposite side. Today, as with most of Cimabue's frescoes, the falling of the plaster and the total inversion of tonal values caused by chemical deterioration, mainly attributable to the use of lead white, give much of the composition the appearance of a reworked photographic negative. A simple reconversion of the image, revealing what the corrosion has hidden, allows the physiognomy of the various figures to be delineated. Christ on the cross stands in the center of the painting, conspicuously curved to the left, as in Cimabue's well-known shaped wooden crosses. The typology is that of the Christus Patiens, that of Christ dying on the cross. This iconography, introduced by Byzantine artists from at least the 12th century, was brought to Italy at the beginning of the following century. In Cimabue's fresco, the contrast between the straight vertical line caused by the cross and the arched, almost unnatural hyperbolic line of the body, creates a formal antithesis. This contrast intensifies and facilitates the faithful's identification with Christ's human sorrows. The representation is then divided into two registers, which are also antithetical to each other: the upper and the lower. The upper half, the heavenly one, is in fact crowded with angels who show all their sorrow, flying in circles around the cross's transverse arm. They cover their weeping faces. They raise their hands to heaven and mercifully collect the blood of Jesus with bowls. A series of convulsive movements and broken lines, represented by the diagonals of the individual angels, increase the feeling of unease and bewilderment. The two semicircular lines represented by Christ's arms, and the choral arrangement of the angels, contribute to this feeling. These lines in fact prefigure the divine embrace. In the lower half, the earthly one, the rhythm is made highly tragic by the two lines of force, consisting of the dramatic poses of the two figures on either side of the cross. The scholar Adolfo Venturi thus commented on the earthly representation in Cimabue's fresco. On either side of the cross, two groups of figures stand out. On the left, relative to the observer, the Magdalene stretches out her arms. Magdalene, with a hyperbolic gestural code that adds to that of the raised arms, is caught moving towards the cross. Note also the tender gestural code of St. John towards the Virgin, a symbol not only of consolation, but a real change in the condition of both.
When Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son." And to the disciple, "Here is your mother."
With a splendid guideline that starts from the face of Jesus, in the gravest hour of his life, the one in which everything was about to be consumed, Christ entrusts humanity to the maternal heart of the Virgin, who brings her hand to his breast, to replicate, in a new and renewed acceptance, the gesture expressed so many times at the moment of the Annunciation. They are followed by the three pious women and Jesus's acolytes in the background. On the opposite side, where Christ cannot look, far from his face, anonymous Roman soldiers and even more anonymous Pharisees crowd in, their eyes turned towards the cross. Among them, however, a few characters stand out. The bearded man, probably a soldier or guard, holding the scabbard of a sword in his left hand, turns his gaze and brings his hand to his chin, as if to express doubt or a feeling of shame, replicated by the figure at his side. Another character also stands out, not only because of the halo that surrounds his head, a symbol of holiness and which makes him immediately identifiable as the centurion who recognized the divine nature of Christ, according to the testimony of the Synoptic Gospels. The figure in fact also extends his right arm in the direction of Christ, until it touches his clothes, promptly imitated by a second figure who behind him holds a spear in his hand and raises his other arm in the direction of Christ. They both call out to him. Will he turn to look at them? Will he show them his face? The lines of force expressed by the two groups at the foot of the cross tend to rejoin in the vertex represented by Christ. A triangle is thus formed, defining a concept of stability, expressed very well by the ultimate sacrifice for the salvation of humanity, the cornerstone of the messianic message. At the base of this triangle we find the figure of Saint Francis, who is recognizable not only by his halo and tonsure, which reveal his condition as a saint and friar respectively, but also by his stigmata, a symbol of his physical participation in the sufferings of Jesus. On his knees and in prayer, wearing his habit, he bathes in the blood of Christ flowing over the mound of Golgotha to the hidden skull of Adam. Francis thus becomes the true intermediary between the transcendent and the immanent, between the sacred event and the faithful, a true messenger of the salvific meaning expressed in Cimabue's great masterpiece.